Yeah. Oh. Okay, I didn't have no vinegar out. Let's see here. I got this gimbal mounted on the tractor, so I thought I'd give it a try today. Yeah, it's a little shaky. I've learned a few things, but it didn't work out too bad. Yeah, I was really happy with it. Actually, I worked right until the end. Right at the end, I had a little mishap. With the gimbal, that is, not with what I was doing. Biter. Yeah, biter. Good biter. This actually is going to go into a video later on, but this isn't the full video. You got your shirt on.
You got naked.
Kind of cool how this gimbal kind of tracks right around where you're going to go. Like I make this left-hand turn here. The camera is a little slow following it around, but it catches up. And I need to reset it. I think I can set it to react a little bit faster too. I got to play with this thing some more and figure out some more about it. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out a widescreen setting on here. So it's easier to catch the whole log, you know, so the full width of it. This phone that I'm on right now has a widescreen setup on it, but my phone that I'd like to record with doesn't have the widescreen feature. Anybody has any tips on that? What a person can do. I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment if you watch this later. Tell me what tips you use if you don't have the wide angle function on your phone. What can you do? And I don't think there's anything I can do about sun glare on the phone. I think I'm just stuck with that. But I'll tell you what, this is an expensive camera stand. It works really good though. I like it as a camera stand. I mean, I can pull up and load the logs up, then I can angle the camera right. Don't even have to take off the mount. I can angle it for me running the chainsaw or me running the wood splitter or whatever I'm doing. Then it's already mounted on the tractor if you need to make the run up and dump it. I think throughout the video, the traction does change a little bit. Slowly moves, I move off, so slowly tracks off to the right a little bit too. I'm beginning to end. I don't know if I can stop it from changing the tracking or not on it. I think what happens on the end, I think what ends up with changing the tracking, though, I think it's the vibration. From the tractor. Pretty cool how the tractor, it won't actually lift these logs. I got those ramps on there to help you keep the ramp to help push it up higher and higher. Works pretty good. But as far as just lifting these logs, no, the tractor won't do it. We'll hold them up there once I get it up to height. That's too heavy, and then it lifts the back tires off the ground. Hey, junkyard. Almost does. Almost. This makes it pretty sweet. I can stack 3 or 4 logs up here at a time. And cut them up like what you guys were seeing me on my firewood cutting videos. And if I do it right, they don't hit the ground. If I do it right. So I just split it, throw it in the bucket, and stack the wood chip. Very little bending. Now I'm using that gimbal. I finally got the gimbal mounted onto the roll bar of the tractor. So this is the first time I used the gimbal on the tractor with it attached, and I wanted to see how it would do and stuff. It's doing pretty good. It tracks back and forth. When I make a corner, it takes a little bit for it to catch up. Not sure if Jeremy's still here or not. Well, we dropped down to 1. I must be boring as hell. Yeah, for myself, I could watch this stuff 24/7. But I'm easy to entertain. These logs I was going to put on the sawmill, drill them into some beams, but never happened. And we're getting at that age that I better cut them up in the firewood before they just go totally bad. It's too late to turn them into. I'm sure there's some rot in them. Well, that's the gimbal. It's actually, there's a lot of vibration from the tractor, but the gimbal is taking it on out. I don't, it's all taken out electronically. It's like the gimbal is kind of like an electronic shock absorber. You see here, I'm making left-hand turn of the gimbal. It takes a little bit for it to catch up and swing back to the left with me. And it's been slowly tracking more and more off to the right a little bit further each time, too. But I think this is going to be a game changer for my videos, though. I mean, I don't think my content's going to be any better with it or nothing. I'm not trying to say that. But I do think it'll make my videos a little bit better. What's nice about it, previously when I've tried to work the camera, when I've had it on the tractor with me, I've got a hand hold it. So it's like I got to have one hand to steer with, one hand to operate the bucket, and hang on to the camera, and that gets pretty awkward. So this makes that stuff a whole lot easier. Okay, you don't. Now this one here, right now, the back tires on this tractor, this log is a heavy one. The back tires right now are about a foot off the ground. And I thought that's what that changed the gimbal. What happens here in a few minutes, but I figured out it was just the vibration was about ready to happen. I had to drop the fork down so I get the back tires on the ground and let the fork kind of slide on the ground so it starts vibrating a whole lot more. And then that happened. And I think the vibration it had so much vibration from it that it didn't know what to do. I overwhelmed it or something. So the rest of this video, it's almost over. But you don't get to see me drop off the log. But you will get dizzy here in a minute. See, this is why I need to have a screen in front of me showing what the camera is showing, so when something like this happens, I'm aware of it. Because if I'm out there working on the tractor and I'm not paying attention, I could have 20 or 30 minutes of this. Fortunately, I was getting ready to shut down. I was done with it anyway. But if I was doing something for an hour or so and this happened, and 20 minutes into the video, I'd have 40 minutes of nothing but sky. You got to figure it out pretty quick here now.
Whoa, it looks like we lost.
I don't think they'll hear what I'm saying, though, because I got the volume turned down on the video.
How that happened?
Not that it matters.
Here we go. Make you dizzy, and I'll turn you off. We'll just see how much that worked.
And that was it. Hell, I might as well leave that sitting here. Hey, Robert. I don't know what I'm doing. If I had known what I was doing, I would have gotten it done quicker. You must have been working quite a bit, huh, Robert? Making you drunk with all the cameras spinning. Yeah, I think what made it do that though is when I had to drop the forks down onto the ground to take the weight off. I think that created a much more vibration to the gimbal that it couldn't keep up with, and it threw it out of balance. Got off work at 12 today. Good deal. When you get off early, do you still get paid for a full day, Robert, or do they cut your hours for that? Oh, okay. That makes sense. Hey, Moose. Yeah, I did figure out a setup, but like I was saying before, I really need a screen in front of me because right at the tail end, it seemed like if I had been running this as an hour-long video, I would have had 40 minutes of video. There's nothing but the sky. I can adjust it to the angle that I want with the gimbal, no problem. But what ended up happening if I get too much vibration, I think that's what caused it. It took off and launched up to the sky. The gimbal did, so it just went out of whack, and then you couldn't see anything more. But yeah, that's pretty much the angle that I wanted. I mean, it's got to control the gimbal. I can swing it back and forth, up and down, do whatever I want, and then set it, and then it stays, and it tracks pretty. It tracks pretty good. See, like when I was driving the tractor, I don't know if you saw the video, but when I was driving down the road and I'd make a left-hand turn, I'd make the left-hand turn and the camera would slowly swing behind it. It didn't just turn right with me. It had to correct itself because I believe it's kind of operating on a GPS type of a deal. I don't know, but it's it takes a second for it to catch up. No, 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 no. There's nothing to see there anyway. But it'd be nice to have a camera so I could tell if it had swung off course like it did towards the tail end of this the last 3 or 4 minutes.
Can I go over to Nancy's real quick?
I'm going to winterize my camper myself this year. I looked it up online and watched a few videos. So it should be easy. I just need to get 4 or 5 gallons of RV antifreeze and a piece of half-inch tubing. Yeah, I would think it'd be pretty easy to do yourself. Those wouldn't be the views that I'd want, Moose. Save yourself $200. Heck yeah. Take your wife and kids on out to eat with that much savings. Do they tell you to blow the lines and everything out first, or? Yeah. You'd be my only viewer. 200 views. Oh, that's what I used to do with my trailers. I just hooked up the air compressor to it when I had a camp trailer. I just blow all the water on out. That's all I did, but and then I called it good. I didn't refill it or anything, and I never had no problem. But I don't live in the same cold country that Robert did. I didn't have an RV when I lived up in Alaska, so I don't know if any water's left behind in a low point or something and it froze, it could break. So I wouldn't be telling Robert to do it the way that I did it. It works fine for where I'm at. The Oregon, California, Northern California, and lower parts of Washington. It says you can either blow the lines out or run the antifreeze. Hell, I just buy an air compressor and blow it all on out then. I mean, if blowing the lines out is good enough, Robert, why not just do that? It's easier than a compressor, okay. What does it take to make sure that the antifreeze gets through every point? Yeah, don't. It'd probably be easier for me just to look it up, see how it's done. Might be a kind of a pain to tell it in chat. Run it out to an Idahoan. Yeah, I figured that's something pretty easy to mount this on here. All I did was found a bolt that would thread right into the bottom of the gimbal, and then I found a steel plate that they had down there, and the hole already drilled through it, the right size for my bolt to go on in there. Then I take an old tube from the tractor, wrap the roll bar with that, put that plate with the bolt going on up through there, and then I took some hose clamps and clamped it that flat bar down to the roll bar. Put some nuts and washers on it to where I could lock. I checked it when I got all done videoing. Actually, I felt up behind me a few times and everything still felt solid while I was running the tractor too. But when I got all done and took it off, everything was still locked tight on there. You just turn the bypass on the water tank and hot water heater and hook up the antifreeze and run it in each faucet. Cold and hot till you see the antifreeze, and then pour some in each drain. Then you're done. Ah, cool. Of course, you make sure the black water tank and the green water tanks are drained. I wouldn't think that you'd want to have any turds drying up in the black water. Or does that have a black water? I got rid of the heart on my one phone and not my other. Um, but I might have the heart back. I haven't watched any videos since I had to update my phone because it was getting pretty. The YouTube was getting glitchy on me. It's been so long since I updated it, so I might have the heart on that phone again now. I hate that heart on here. It's a pain. Why would you make sure the black water was cleaned? I wouldn't worry about that one. It's just going to get dirty again. Don't worry if those turds build up and dry out in there. I'd use that heart for target practice junkyard if I could. I don't even remember what I did to get rid of it. And I've tried finding, because I did find the directions one time. One time, I've tried to find the directions all over again, how to get rid of it. So I could give it to other people so they can get rid of it themselves. I can't find out how to do it again. And I've been trying to look for what YouTube says about that heart. See it if it's experimental, if we ever have any hopes of it going away. I put in a complaint to YouTube about the heart. Hey, that's what I ought to do is post a link where everybody can complain about the heart to YouTube. I'll do that. I'll put that in my descriptions one of these times. That sounds good. I don't even know what I'm going to make for dinner tonight. Last night for dinner, yesterday I made a bunch of green tomato verde sauce. So I just had chips and verde sauce for dinner last night. It was really good. But I want something more substantial tonight. I should have put a pot of beans on last night or this morning. Got new tires on the pickup today. Cool. Yeah, probably. I'm gonna guess $800, 8 to 900. If it had been on Robert's truck, I'd have guessed more like 14 or 15. 750, 6 ply. Hopefully they were a 6 ply and not the 4 ply. 1400 was last time. Yeah, I was close in the ballpark. A little bit over on Junkyard tires. He got a good deal on those. Oh, the 16-inch rims for 750. That's a good deal. Yeah, I remember when you couldn't get anything more than an 8 ply. I think it was an 8 ply or was it a 6 ply? But that was on the 15-inch rims. Now you got more of an option with these oversized rims that you get heavier. You get 10 ply on them. On my half tons, like my white Ford, I just got 15-inch rims, so I don't think I've ever even seen an 8 ply for it. All I can get is 6 ply, but it does the job. 18-inch rims, yeah. Yeah, that Toyota FJ. I think those were 17 or 18-inch rims. I don't know, and they were the steel rims. They weren't the alloy rims with the tires on there. They had big old tires on that SJ. Man, those suckers were heavy to lift it to get back on the studs. Wow, they get bigger and bigger rims on there. I'm still partial to the 16-inch rims. I mean, I would ever put 16-inch on my white Ford. I'll keep what I got on there. It's adequate. I don't think it needs anything heavier. The years, no, that was the Nissan, wasn't it? Junkyard that you put the tires on, and it came with 16. So yeah, they are putting bigger rims and tires on them these days. Yeah, on the Ranger, the 15s are pretty. I can change the 15s on my Ford pickup pretty easy. I would rather have smaller rims and more rubber to get this diameter that I want than the larger rims, just because it gives a little bit of a softer ride. But I still want the stiffer. I mean, like the taller the sidewall, the more ply I'd want on the side, though. Yeah, I don't mind using a 4-way bar. Um, I did that for a while, junkyard, but then my batteries would be dead when I go to grab it. I think that Robert, I think that's what my what my Ranger had on it. It might have been the next size up because I took the tires. I had a little bit oversized tires on the Ranger, and I took them off and I put them on my F-150. Oh, especially when it's under 5, yeah. That's when I just want a can of Fix-A-Flat to squirt on in there and get me to the to the tire center. Let them deal with it. Keep about 5 or 6 cans of Fix-A-Flat in the car just in case. I'd like to see that sometime, junkyard. Wow, 12 watt. You know what? I would like to see an impact wrench where you could plug it into the cigarette lighter because these cordless ones, um, those suckers are kind of, or something that maybe you clip on with alligator clips or something onto the battery or something. Because these cordless ones, I mean, I've kept cordless tools in my truck and stuff, and every now and then I go to grab one and the battery's dead, and it's so frustrating when that happens. Yeah, but that you had a good battery and it was fully charged. But what if you hadn't used it for like say a year, year and a half, and just sat in your truck, and then all of a sudden a year, year and a half later you go to use it, the battery's already dead. Unless you're using it on a regular basis and you know your battery's always charged up and maintained. I mean, see, with me working for framing, having cordless tools was really handy when you needed them, and usually you knew well in advance when you was going to use them, so you'd make sure the batteries are charged up, ready to go for those days that you're going to have them. But then you'll go for 4, 5, 6 months without a need for one. So I would even I'd take them out of the rig and leave them in the shop. It stays up. Huh. Oh, well, maybe they got better with these batteries because I know 10 years ago, the batteries would just slowly decharge on their own. After long periods of time. But see, now, that what it was about 10 years ago where they really started switching over to lithium batteries. And I don't have any experience with the lithium battery cordless tools. So maybe those things hold really good. Yeah, 400 or 500 foot-pounds is probably all I'd ever need. Yeah, I would like to go all lithium, Robert, but I don't have when I had the money when I could buy the tools and all the different stuff. The lithium really wasn't on out. They weren't tried and true. I didn't know anything about them. They were just coming on out. So I didn't switch over to the lithium because that's been a good 10 years since I quit contracting, about 10 years ago. And I was starting to think about lithium, but I hadn't switched over yet. And I'm buying a bunch of new power tools when I already have a bunch. Yeah, they're all everything I got now is way outdated now, but it still works for what I need it for when I need it. Just I gotta when I want to use my cordless tools, I got to go out there and plug in all my battery chargers and get them all charged up and be ready to go. So it takes a little bit of planning. They are lithium, okay. I mean, how are the Harbor Freight cordless tools? Are they pretty decent? Last a good period of time and stuff. I might start slowly buying some of those. And the one thing here that I'm looking at buying, I got to talk to Ellen still, where I'm doing all that work for her out at her place. She has a bunch of brush she wants chipped up. I was thinking about buying a chipper shredder. I found one for 2,000 that's a PTO mount on the back for the back of my tractor. And I'm thinking about having her buy that one. And then whenever I use the chipper, that money would go until it's paid off, and then then the chipper would be mine. That way she's buying it, not me. But I end up with it by running it for her. You had good luck with them? Lithium was way better than the old NiCad batteries. Yeah, see, I don't even know what the batteries are called in the old cordless drills and stuff. Yeah, the Hercules. Yeah, I know that the Harbor Freight, their tools, they still have the lower graded tools, but then they decided they had a lot of complaints. Nobody liked them. They went and started using that Hercules brand and raised their reputation a lot with the Hercules. I got what was it? My grinder is a Hercules, and I really like it. I mean, I've had really good luck with my Ryobis. I really did like them, but the batteries are starting to go pretty bad. I don't want to be buying any more batteries for it, so I'm thinking about dumping them. Now, is the Earthquake brand better than the Hercules? I haven't even heard of the Bauer. These birds are complaining they want some grains a second. Let me throw them some corn. Yeah, I hear you. You birds want some corn, I know. Maybe Kotex will stop crowing now. But they don't have the Earthquake anymore? A Bauer is the cheaper? Okay. Yeah, and I had the whatever the cheaper line of the grinder was, and it didn't last very long. The Caterpillar mechanic changed all of his over from the Earthquake from Snap-on. Huh. It sucks that it's so far to Harbor Freight. I hardly ever make it into Harbor Freight. They're 45 minutes away up in Albany. But then it's probably a good idea because I'd probably be in there buying something weekly with money that I shouldn't be spending. All the receipts on email too. That's a good idea. I ought to start keeping my receipts on email. I never thought about that using a file. So you use the filing system on and the email that way, where you can organize your receipts and stuff. That's a good idea. Make it easy to find them. You talking sales tax? We don't even have a sales tax here. I wonder if Ace Hardware will email you the receipt. Or do you just got to take a screenshot of take a snapshot of it and email it to yourself or something to put it in the folder? Holy cow, 9% sales tax? That's just in your town or for the state? Dang, holy cow. No sales tax here at all. That would be a pain as a business to be doing sales tax, I would think, from state to state. Say like if you was a chain store like Circle K or 7-Eleven or something, and you had to do all the reports for each town on your sales tax, that would be a pain. State is, so do you pay, Robert? So you're paying a 6% sales tax to the state and a 9% to the town. So you're paying a 15% tax. Is that what you're saying? That's ridiculous. See, I wouldn't mind if we had a sales tax if they'd make the sales if they'd do away with our state income tax. Do away with our state income tax and just have a sales tax. I'd be fine with that. Okay, total is 9%, so it's 3% for the city. And to do away with the tax on groceries. Yeah, I think that they ought to. I would love for Oregon to introduce the sales tax, but but make groceries exempt. I take that back. Go ahead and have a sales tax on no, not a sales tax. Have a sin tax on sodas and junk food, candy bars, potato chips, sodas. Put a sin tax on all that stuff. shoot, junkyard, if you don't be careful, I wouldn't talk about that too much because they're liable to put a they're liable to put a checking point to see if you're transporting um, stuff over the line that needs to have a tax on it. They'll have a checkpoint. Okay, you got groceries. Okay, let's tally this up. See what your taxes are. Wouldn't that suck if they put a checkpoint for produce? You guys, you got to spend 110 to avoid the tax. So you have to spend more in order to avoid the tax. If you don't spend that amount, they tax you. Is that how that works? Oh, 10% in Hugo. Oh, I get okay. So it's 10% tax, and so if you spend 100 in Hugo, you spend $110. I got what you're saying back there. So you just spend $100 in Paris, and it's a flat no tax on $1. If you spent that $100 in the Hugo, it'd be $110. Ooh, that sounds good. Maybe that's what I'll have for dinner tonight. That's easy to make. Hey, Kim, screw Hugo. Then you end up spending money that you don't need to spend when you do the after shopping.
Ugh. I was going to go up today. Yesterday morning when I woke up, my stomach was cramping on up, had diarrhea. Got over that, was fine the rest of the day, but kind of messed up with going up to work on Ellen's property up there. So I planned on going up there this morning. I got up this morning, my stomach was cramping up all over again. So I decided, well, I'll give it another break. And then tomorrow's Thursday and Friday, and I want to have the tractor here Friday, so there's no point in me going up there tomorrow. Next week's supposed to be light rain, but I can work up at our place in the rain. So that's my plans. I'll be up there working in the rain. And it'll be in the 50s, so it won't be cold. Perfect working weather. I seen you release another video today, Kim. I haven't watched it yet on your drone footage. Oh, I seen. Let's see here. Let's see if it'll do it. Just a second here. Kim, if you're still here, I copied to share a link, and I hope this is the same one. No, it's not. Oh shoot! I saw a drone video. It was a short in the YouTube Shorts. It's out of you and cornbread when I seen it. Guy was flying over the town where he like to do early morning shots and this and that. To get sunrise and sunsets and stuff. So he'd fly the drone over, get pictures of the big buildings with the sun behind it and stuff. And he happened to catch a kid, and he followed the kid for a spell. He happened just to catch him as he was throwing rocks from a bridge on the cars passing under, on the freeway. And he had a shirt rolled up with a whole bunch of rocks, and he kept on throwing the rocks on out at cars over the. And then when he ran out of rocks, he went back. He videoed him for quite a spell because he went back to like 5 times to get another t-shirt full of rocks to throw at cars as it was going by. Now that's what you want. What you want to be able to catch those little bastards. Yeah, didn't Joe get turned down on that visit, Junkyard? Yeah. Oh, they hold our people. I guess the governor of Florida, what, he rescued 200 of them? I don't know what. Seriously, I really don't know what to think about this whole Hamas Israel deal. Because I know a bit of the history of Israel, why there's so much hatred towards Israel and to the United States. And when it comes right on down to it, it's the Britain's fault that this hatred exists. And we had our part in it too, but it was Britain that laid it down and got it going this way. There's a whole lot more to it. Back before our lifetime is where it all started, back in the 50s, right after World War II. And coming back empty. Yeah, those cargo planes. I don't know if they're heated. You know, I mean, could they haul people back in those cargo planes? What would it be like? What's the chill factor back on in there? There might be a reason why they're not hauling people back in those cargo planes. I don't know if they can haul people in those or not. I'm sure they could. I mean, it takes protective gearing, to be able for them to stay warm like the military does. They did out of Kabul. Yeah, they probably could. Yeah, I don't know what the temperatures get. I don't know why they couldn't. Probably temperature isn't a factor. A seating might be a factor. Standing room only or something. Jerusalem has been destroyed twice, besieged 23 times, attacked 52 times, and captured and recaptured 44 times. Yep. By the way, Jerusalem is not God's chosen city anymore. Good evening, Big Fish. Yeah, but that's the difference where you as in the military sit in those big Chinooks, and then you have some old retired person sitting with that has no butt muscles back there to pad their butt, sitting on that hard floor. Might be a little bit different, Junkyard. Yeah, I'm sure they would. I know I would. Even though I ain't got no butt padding on me, I know I'd still torture myself through that ride home. Well, the thing is, Palestine was before the Jews, before the Brits gave Palestine back to the Jews. It was 95% Palestinians and 5% Jews, and most of the Palestinians at that time were Christians, most of them. And then when they gave the land to the Jews, that started an Arab war. And so so when they were under attack, all the Palestinians that lived there, they went to flee, and they wouldn't even let the Palestinians into Egypt. I mean, they would, and Israel told, we'll give you a free, open a corridor for you to go to Egypt. Egypt wouldn't have took them, but they gave them the safe passage to get. Amount of the Palestinians back then left, and the Jews or Israel said that they would let them come back when they left. After the war would be over, they could come back. They never let them come back, and then they wonder why there's all this hatred. The people that were born there, that lived there, that had lived there for hundreds and hundreds of years, their families. now those people there are the ones that are like the Israelites that were sent to wandering. Now the predicament that we're at, it's like it's a no-win situation, because now you have the Jews that are there, and I believe that a lot of them should be there, but I don't think they've worked fairly with the Palestinians, and now it's too late to do anything about it. You got to let them figure out how they're going to settle their differences. We should stay out of it. Let them figure it out. That's my 2 cents. We should acknowledge that we helped create this mess and we don't know what to do about it, so we're bowing out of it. Just take me to the U.S. southern border. Yeah, then it's easy to get in. I mean, I do have empathy for the Jews that didn't have a homeland, but I have empathy for the Palestinians that don't have a homeland too now. All because of the corrupt governments on both sides of the aisle messing everything on up. And I'm not trying to say that Palestinians have been 100% innocent on this whole deal either, but both sides have had huge mistakes. I just don't think that we should be getting caught up in it or feeding it. Got me on the banks of the Rio Grande. Yeah, I think I'd rather be in Mexico right about now dealing with the cartel than what's happening over there. There's no doubt that the Jews are very intelligent and they do have a lot of money. But what they need to do is deport all these terrorists that come into Palestine and let the original Palestinians, the ones that were originally there before the whole deal, let those families come on back and let them have a state. You know, so you have a state of Palestine and a state of Israel, and so it's a two-state country. And let them have a constitution like what we have that protects each other. Jews can rub two pennies together and get three. Yep. Well, Israel made it very clear right from the get-go that when they got there, that they wanted to get rid of all the Arabs out of there. They didn't want them there at all. They were saying one thing and doing the completely the opposite. What they were doing was not, was the completely opposite of what they were saying, and it's created a lot of conflict. Whereas if they had to work together as a country and said, okay, well, we'll make this work. We'll do this, whatever. Both sides could have had an equal say on it, and they could have come to a peaceful solution. And actually, they wanted to sit down and have a peaceful solution. And those ones that were getting ready to sit down, they were assassinated. No, we're not good at establishing governments either. Every government that we have to my knowledge, every government that we've helped establish, for overthrowing an existing government and putting in a new one, you know, um, we helped Castro to take over Cuba. How did that work out for us? We helped overthrow Iran. They had a democratic government, had their ruler was elected. We overthrew that government. How did that work out for us? Um, let's see here. There's some others too. We just don't have a very good history on world affairs. We've created a lot of war instead of bringing things together. Our country has created a lot of animosity, and I'm not saying that we didn't have good intentions. I'm just saying it didn't work on out. About the money or about corruption or something, about greed. I don't know what it is. It sure ain't about integrity. Well, our government isn't about integrity either. Always been something going on. Whether it was Korea might have been the only thing that might have kind of worked out for us. South Korea, but Vietnam sure didn't work out for us. Afghanistan has well, we had a reason to go to Afghanistan though. That was legit. But Iraq didn't help us out any. That didn't do us any good going there. Yeah, but African was we went there because of 9/11. It wasn't. We didn't go there necessarily. In my book, we should have never gone over there to overthrow the government or anything. We just whipped them into submission or something. Let them rebuild themselves. We shouldn't have to rebuild it after what they did. I mean, to me, that was just go over there, kick some butt, and get revenge for what they did to on 9/11, and then pull on out. Let them figure out what they're going to do. As far as us trying to set up a government there, we knew that wouldn't work on out. We should have said, okay, you hold your own elections. We don't care who you elect, whether it's somebody we like or not. You do whatever. You get your government going up and running again. Whether we're allies or not doesn't matter. We should have maybe just stayed long enough for them to vote in whoever they wanted and pulled on out and said, okay, it's all yours now. $2,500 in Iraq. See, we shouldn't have any in my opinion. We shouldn't have any in Iraq anymore. Let the other Arab countries figure out their own deal. And if we was going to do anything with Israel, I think we should insist that they give them a two-state. Insist that Israel make it a two-state and give them a Palestinian state. Yeah, and we build the base for them, and then say, okay, here's the base, you can have it now, and here's the supplies that all go with it. Every time we pulled out of a country before, the military always went through and sabotaged everything. They blow everything on up where there was nothing for them to capture. Can't believe we didn't do that. Left all that stuff there for them to just take and have. Yeah, well, we'll never recover that equipment. It's long gone now, big fish. Oh, well, the Bible says there'll be wars, and rumors of wars, and still the time is not yet. Oh, shoot, I had to end this live stream. I better get my dinner going. We'll chat at y'all later. Bye, y'all.